Let's talk about, let's switch over to the guys now, talking about the men. Not talking about the players now, but talking about the handler of the national team. And Cecilia, talking about Coach Stephen Keshi. A lot of rumors flying around. A lot of things that you don't really want to say. Like you hear some people saying that his contract should be decided by the last few games that he's been in charge. Some saying the present NFF board are not interested in him. Some saying it's a matter of formality. And all this speculation, I feel it doesn't help the team in any way.
At all, it doesn't. Now, if you check, we know that recently, the last 2 games he played, Nigeria lost to Congo for the first time in a decade, so many years, and of course South Africa, the goalless draw. But I think you cannot judge Coach Stephen Keshi by just 2 games he played recently. Now look at what he has done. He took over in 2011, and immediately a year later he was able to win the Nations Cup, which we have not won since 1994. I think that is a plus. Getting Nigeria to second round, of course, FIFA World Cup in Brazil, that is also a plus.
Well.
So if you look at that, which of the Nigerian coaches have actually had this particular pedigree? None. Apart from Coach Verstappen, who happens not to be a Nigerian. Now, if you're looking at that, I think Coach Keshi is still the very best person we have for the job. We're hearing rumors from different quarters that Siasia is on the job. You're hearing some other players coming in for the job. You're hearing even a foreign coach. But what if you're looking at, we are playing qualifiers for the Nations Cup in 2015, not 2016. And this is October.
Short, really.
We have a game this month, 2 games. Of course, the championship is January next year. So how do you now bring in a new coach and start all over again? Definitely each coaches that will come, we always know the players that will want to play for them. They start bringing in new players to build and everything. He was able to achieve it in 2011. Fine. But how many coaches can quickly adapt to the system?
All right. Let's move on. The speculations continue, and it's really not good. But we hope that the new NFF board will sort everything out, and there will be little or no distraction for the senior national team. But on the domestic scene, you have the Glow Premier League. So let's look at the fixtures for this weekend. Interesting matches to look forward to. Bayelsa United take on Sunshine. Gobe United takes on El Kanemi. Taraba take on Warri Wolves. Crown FC take on Eyimba. Sharks will play Nembe City. Nasarawa United will take on Kaduna United. These are some of the fixtures. Abia Warriors will take on Dolphins. Aqua United will take on Rangers. Heartland will take on Pillars. And Lobby Stars take on Giwa. These are the fixtures for the Glow Premier League. That's what is happening on the domestic scene. And like I said, there's a lot to look forward to for this weekend. Yeah, you're already saying it. But let's move on, because we still have a lot of ground to cover. Let's talk about one of the clubs in England. We're traveling abroad now. Let's go look at one manager talking about his player, and that should come up on your screen any moment from now. Let's talk about Brendan Rodgers and Liverpool. And I'm going to ask you talking about this man in your picture, Mario Balotelli, and Brendan Rodgers said, you know what, you need to start scoring goals.
Definitely. You're
coming with a lot of pedigree, a lot has been said about you, you cost us money as well. Give us the goals.
Just 16?
It's money.
Come on. Okay, at least Danny Welbeck cost 16, and of course, and he's already scoring goals. Now, looking at Mario Balotelli, whenever he's going to a particular club, there's something you really need to notice. There's too much hype around him. I think that hype actually puts more pressure on him. He might just feel he's not looking at it, or he's not under pressure. But I think Mario Balotelli is definitely under pressure. Going back to England, and he's supposed to fit into the shoes of Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez, who actually scored about 30 goals in 31 games, that is massive. And that is a player that you look at and you wonder, how was he able to do it? So if you look at what Luis Suarez achieved, and Mario Balotelli coming in to try to achieve that, it's going to be difficult for him. One, because he's not as clinical as Luis Suarez was. Fine, his work rate is really impressive, very good. But what Liverpool needs right now, it's someone that can score. Daniel Sturridge, of course, is injured. And since his injury, Mario Balotelli hasn't really stepped up. Yeah, but I think he really needs to start scoring goals for Liverpool to to ensure that they move up. Check what happened to the game against Everton. It was a Steven Gerrard who everyone is feeling his 34, he's old, he's out of form and all that, was the one who actually scored the opening goal.
So you need your top man to always deliver.
To your top man to actually deliver and see how he can actually help them, because they're playing in the Champions League, they're playing in the Premiership, unlike last season, which they did not. So that pressure will definitely be on them. Playing Champions League and club football will be easy for them.
Let's listen to Brendan Rodgers in his own words, what he had to say about Mario Balotelli. They will come back for more on Sports This Morning.
I think in terms of his behaviour since he's come into here, into the training, I think the boys, he's consciously trying to work hard at the aspects of the game of which we would demand here at Liverpool in terms of his intensity and that work rate. I think in terms of goals, and he needs to improve. I think it's as simple as that. I think it's, as a striker, not just him, but any striker, attacking player, you're judged on your goals and your games, and obviously the number of assists that you make. And of course, at this moment, he hasn't probably hit the numbers that he would want to. So, and that's something that, over the course of the team, really, I think it's the function of the team. What we need to return to being a team, in terms of that's brought us the success over the last 18 months or so. In terms of the developments that we've made, we've been selfless in our work for each other.
Welcome back. Nothing to add. You're a striker. Put the goals behind the net. That's what you're there for. Okay, let's go to the English Premier League. Let's look at the fixtures for this weekend. And one easily stands out. Cecilia is eager to talk about that, but we'll do that later. Hull City, the owner saying, I'm going to stop putting money. Hull City takes on Crystal Palace. Leicester take on Burnley. Liverpool take on West Brom. Sort of Nigerian interest in that one. Sunderland take on Stoke. Swansea take on Newcastle. Aston Villa take on Manchester City. That's the defending champions in the English Premier League. Manchester United, well, some years back, this will have been pick of the pack, but with what's happening in recent times, it has taken the backseat. Manchester United taking on Everton. Chelsea taking on Arsenal. Easily, by far, the biggest one for this weekend. Tottenham taking on Southampton, and of course West Ham taking on Harry Redknapp's Queen's Park Rangers. These are the fixtures for the English Premier League. I think what we're going to do, let's quickly go to the continent and look at the big games from all the top leagues around Europe. Then we look at that as we try to wrap things up on the show this morning. Of course, we talked about Chelsea and Arsenal, but this one on your screen, Cecilia, Ajax will take on Zwolle, their counterparts in the Dutch league. Dortmund take on Hamburg. Juventus take on Roma. Both had contrasting fortunes in the UEFA Champions League. Porto take on Sporting Braga. You should have a Nigerian. Valencia take on Atletico in the Spanish La Liga. Lyon take on Lille. Sort of Nigerian interest in that one. PSG take on Monaco. Another Nigerian interest in that one as well. And of course, Chelsea taking on Arsenal. In 2 minutes, try to wrap this up. Look at what stands out in some of these fixtures for you.
Okay, we can start from PSG and Monaco. I think PSG, of course, they are yet to lose a game this season, but they have a series of draws. That is a huge one for them, which will not going well. But judging from the fact that they were able to beat Barcelona, in the Champions League, that would definitely be a moral booster for them, especially missing their top man, which is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Okay. And of course, another one, Chelsea Arsenal, of course, is the biggest game in Europe this weekend. Danny Welbeck, he's on fire right now. 16 million, of course, at his age. I would say Arsenal definitely got that guy on very cheap. Cheap for him. For Chelsea, yet to lose a game, of course, this season in all competitions. So they're definitely facing their toughest test this season, with Arsenal, of course, bouncing back and being able to win in the Champions League at the weekend. Another big one is Juve and AS Roma. Now, AS Roma, check what is happening to them. When they were playing their game in the Champions League, we felt, okay, this might just be the time for them to lose. But of course, they were able to, get a draw out of that season. Of course, first and second last season. Of course, this season, of course, unbeaten in 6 matches. Of course, for Juve also is another huge one against Atletico Madrid. We felt Atletico Madrid, were definitely going to run them out because of what they've been doing. But they were able to get a goal against them. So for Atletico Madrid being the first team to score against Juve this season, they might just be a little bit on the downside. But this game might be very, very technical for both sides. All they need to do is see how they can. Whoever scored first to me might just end up winning that game. Dortmund, Hamburg, really not that big because Hamburg, of course, I mean, they've scored just one goal this season, which is really not a good one for them. Of course, Dortmund, they're definitely not in their best of forms, battling series of injuries, and of course, not only that, missing most of their top players and all from last season. But I think Chelsea definitely against Arsenal. I think I'll give it to Chelsea. Dortmund, Hamburg. Dortmund definitely will want to go back on winning ways for me.
I'll keep my opinions to myself, but we'll wait till Monday to see what happens. Let's talk about Serena as we try to wrap things up on the show. She's pulled out of China Open. Can you care to tell us why? Knee injury? Knee
injury, of course. Remember the first game she played against Alicia Conner? She actually, she struggled a little bit, for injury. The second game also she played, she struggled also a little bit. But I think because of that knee injury, she really needed to pull out to rest, because this is actually the first tournament she's playing since winning the US Open. 18 Grand Slam for her at her age 33. So I think maybe what she really needs to do is to play lesser game and rest. Take care of herself more.
She's
and just target
of the
Grand
second
Slam
consecutive tournament. She pulled out of one earlier and this one.
This one also.
But there's no doubt, no argument. She is the best female tennis player in the world right now.
Definitely,
but
you can rule that out.
Just
even her sister also pulled out of China Open.
She just can't be in all of the WTA tournament. Okay, all right, let's quickly switch to Formula One as we wrap things up. At some point, it was a typhoon threatening the Japanese Grand Prix, but the practice sessions have been going on. Nico Rosberg won the first one, and expectedly, second one. When it was first, his teammate was second. Now, teammate was for Lewis Hamilton, and so. How does all of that shape up as we look forward to the race on Sunday?
I think it's just the dominance of Mercedes continues. That's what it all spells out for us.
It's going to be one of the two.
That is it. We're also looking at either Nico Rosberg or Lewis Hamilton taking this one again in China. Well, definitely a good one for Lewis Hamilton. But I think with himself actually coming back from those having to retire most of the times and all that because of problem with his car, coming back right now, winning the last Grand Prix, and for this one, definitely, I think for me, you just said that, of course, and definitely, we'll just see what happens tomorrow, and whatever happens tomorrow, we'll definitely know who is going to start in the podium on Sunday and see who's going to get this particular race.
Okay, so that's the show today. We hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you this morning. Don't forget all of the things we've told you, the sporting moments for this weekend, the things to expect for this weekend, and when we return on Monday, we'll fill you in on all that went down this weekend. That's how we wrap things up on the show. My name is Yemi Adebayo, and on behalf of everyone that has behind the scene, pulling the switches, pulling the buttons as well, bye for now.